Hawkeye. So Hawkeye is the fifth and final MCU miniseries of 2021, as we've already had WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Loki, and What If. Now going into this series, I wasn't really overly excited about seeing it, purely because we've had Hawkeye numerous times in the MCU, and I just thought to myself, what else can he offer? But because it was a leading role for him this time, because every other time he's been a supported character and has almost been overshadowed by the other Avengers. So it was an opportunity to explore the character a little bit more. Although after watching Black Widow, particularly in relation to the ending, it was also something that made me think, oh, let's find out and see where this leads to, how this will connect to this series. And you'll have to watch Black Widow to find out what I mean by that. So following the events of Avengers Endgame, Clint Barton has retired from the Avengers and is looking to spend a peaceful Christmas with his family. However, in the midst of that, his past comes back to haunt him, and with the help of Kate Bishop, a young aspiring archer who idolised Hawkeye as a child, they form a partnership to defeat this threat in time for Christmas. I mean, just the fact that Hawkeye is set at Christmas might add a slight bias in my approach to the film, as I do love Christmas. And the series mainly consists of action and drama, but the build up to Christmas Day serves as the backdrop. So the fact it's set at Christmas ultimately makes it stand out alone from any other MCU film or series that we've seen so far. And the context of the series is very precise because it follows Clint Barton's life from the 5 years in between the beginning of Endgame and halfway through. And what I really appreciated about Hawkeye was the fact that, you know, when you watch a lot of superhero stories that are pretty much hero versus villain, you expect the hero to defeat them, and you know, there's a lot of action drama going on all the time and whatnot. What I liked about this was that it was almost like a detective story. Stories were unravelled and secrets were revealed as the series went on. It wasn't overcomplicating, it wasn't like trying to be clever. It had introductions to some of the characters we know and love. It had also new characters who we haven't seen before and nicely developed them and made them an integral part of the story and in the MCU. And it made those characters be part of their own universe, which in many ways makes sense because Hawkeye is one of the few who doesn't actually have superpowers. He's not a superhero that's been gifted with technology, powers and wealth. He's just basically a guy who's been trained up to be a top-class archer, and it was just good how it just kind of blended normal life, particularly during the Christmas period, and how peaceful it is, to how things can totally change. It's something that's almost like papering over the cracks, so to speak, because of course Christmas is a peaceful time where families come together and whatnot, but it's the things within that come out and secrets end up being revealed. So that's where there was a nice combination between superhero and action sequences and the classic Christmas tradition. And visually it was breathtaking, albeit we did have Christmas decorations in the series that did make it look even better and more beautiful. The cinematography was stunning, the art direction was great, the costumes were fantastic, and also the choreography was very good as well. Now once again, Jeremy Renner plays Clint Barton / Hawkeye, and as I said a bit earlier, that he has pretty much been in the MCU from the very beginning. The series focuses on him, particularly his actions previously that have led to the series. And I have had mixed feelings over the years about Jeremy Renner's performance as Hawkeye. Sometimes I've found him good and then other times I haven't, and this time I thought he was very good and I really enjoyed his performance, and it was a pure treat to see him play Hawkeye again. And young rising star Hailey Steinfeld plays Kate Bishop. Steinfeld's already a child star, having previously been nominated for an Oscar, and here she stars as Kate Bishop, who basically becomes the female Hawkeye. And she's a character who grew up idolising Hawkeye since witnessing his actions during the alien invasion in the 2012 film The Avengers. And Steinfeld's performance really captured Kate's journey throughout the series. You initially perceive her as this cocky youth, but when she gets herself accidentally mixed into Clint Barton's business, it makes her a more rounded superhero. And she made a great partner to Renner'S Hawkeye. Another significant role in this series is Alaqua Cox, who plays Maya Lopez, aka Echo. And she's significant from an audience perspective purely because she's deaf. And it's another tick in the box in terms of diverse representations within the superhero genre. And the character in the comics touches upon disability as well. And Cox's real life deafness and prosthetic leg, as the character has as well, is symbolic in giving us a very positive representation of disability within the media, especially in a superhero story that requires a lot of physical stealth and agility. Just because she doesn't speak, it doesn't mean she can't act emotional or at times intimidating. And that's where Cox's performance deserves a lot of credit. And also Florence Pugh returns as Yelena Belova, if I've pronounced that correctly again, and she reprises her role from Black Widow, which came out earlier this year. She's a new character in this series who we kind of got an indication that she was going to be potentially in this series because of things that happened at the end of Black Widow. And her role, without going into too much detail, is based on emotional motivation in relation to Clint Barton. And to be honest, I thought Florence Pugh was the best part in Black Widow. Her performance was fantastic, her Russian accent was totally on point, and again, she delivers another brilliant performance in this series as well. And there were other supporting actors as Vera Farmiga and Tony Dalton, who also made significant appearances in this series as well. So Hawkeye as a series, in my opinion, was just an absolute blast from start to finish. If this is classed as a Christmas series, okay, I will say that Die Hard is officially a Christmas film, and you'll have to watch the final episode to see why I'm comparing those together. Yes, it's cliche as it is around Christmas, but Christmas always is, isn't it, at the end of the day? Every year, in and out of films, in real life, it's always a cliche tradition, but that's why we love it so much. But besides the Christmas tradition and its festive spirit serving as a backdrop for the series, what I truly loved about Hawkeye was that it wasn't just about action sequences, it was about story, it was about unravelling things, and that's why I said earlier about each episode almost serving as a mini kind of detective story. It has a beginning, a middle, and an end, with only a few subtle hints as to what's going to happen next. Whether some characters will continue or not, I'm not entirely sure at this point, although what we do know is, as announced last month, Alaqua Cox will return as Echo in a new spin-off series. That'll be something to look forward to, and I will admit I would like to see a lot more of Heinfeld and Pugh in the MCU, because they've both done absolutely brilliantly so far. So what did you think of Hawkeye? Did you enjoy it even more purely because it was Christmas? Did you find it one of the best seasons in the MCU so far? Or did you find it the opposite and not enjoy it so much and find it too cliched? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you're going to enjoy this video, then please hit the like button and subscribe for more, and have a notification bell tick so you're notified when I upload a new video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care, everybody.